I'm just about to collect my Social Security. Finally, I've waited till the absolute bitter end when there was no more benefit to not collecting it. And in September, which is my birth month, oh my God, I'm going to be collecting Social Security. I can't wait because honestly, some people, they don't have the privilege of waiting this long to collect their money. So I'm glad I did. But did I do the right thing by waiting? Should I have collected it years ago when I could have? I don't know. But stay tuned because our guest today will tell me if I did the right thing, and we'll all learn. Stay tuned. Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Scan FYI. Hey, Mary Beth, how are you today?
Good morning, Andrea. How are you? I can't wait to hear about this journey you're about to take.
I know, and now that we all know it's my birthday next month, I'm accepting early happy birthday wishes in case anybody wishes to give them to me. Yeah, it is a journey. So it's just a great coincidence that our guest today is in a perfect position to, tell me what to do or if I did the right thing.
So good morning to Donald.Lyons with PNC Wealth. How are you? Good to have you back.
Good morning. I'm well. Thank you for having me.
Hey, Don, nice to really just a very good coincidence that you're with us today. So, so we're going to talk about Social Security strategies. And, as Mary Beth and I observed before we went on camera, we both really learned a lot about all of this from working at SCAN. I think it's the kind of thing where until it really affects you personally, probably most people it's out there, but you don't really know what the scoop is. And I know that for a lot of people, they wind up collecting it the earliest moment they can, which is it 62 on the button?
62. Yes, 62.
All right. And then of course I'm waiting to when you're 70, then there's no more increases. There's no more benefit. So why do some people wait? Why do some people not wait? And what's the strategy behind all of this?
Yeah, so great question. So there's a number of reasons as to why people don't wait. In other words, why they take it early. And let me just backtrack a little bit. In terms of when you collect it early, you have to understand that for retirement age, for the most part, is age 66, which means if you wait at least until for retirement age, you'll receive 100% of your benefit. If you collect sooner than that, it's typically on a month-by-month basis. But every year you collect early, your benefit is reduced, right? So if you collect at 62, your benefit is reduced by 25%. That's a permanent reduction throughout your lifetime, right? So we have to take into account
25%'s a lot.
It is, and it's a permanent reduction, and so that can add up to a lot of money, a lot of lost money over your lifetime, especially when we talk about being retirement, living perhaps 20 or 30 years or more. A 25% reduction can be a substantial reduction over your lifetime, essentially. Now, in terms of why people collect early, there are really a whole host of reasons. The primary reason I would say, though, is people have this fear that Social Security is going to go bankrupt, right? In other words, the system is not going to be here when it's time for me to collect. And really the way the system works is that it's a pay-as-you-go system. And so the money you pay in the Social Security taxes doesn't necessarily go into an account for your own benefit. You're just giving credit for paying into it. And the way it works is that you pay into the system, the benefits that you pay or the money you pay to Social Security goes directly to those receiving benefits. The difference goes into the trust fund, right? So since its founding in 1935, Social Security that is, it's collected roughly $21 trillion. It's paid out over that time.
Seems like a lot of money.
It is.
Seems like a lot.
It is, right? But since that time, it's paid out roughly 18.1 trillion. So there's a difference of $2.9 trillion, which is the current value of the Social Security Trust Fund. So the expectation is if Congress does not make any large scale changes, come the year 2035, that trust fund will be exhausted, depleted to zero, at which point benefits could be cut across the board by 21%. So people have a fear that the system won't be here, or at least it will be here in a different form. So this is why people collect early, because they feel as though, let me get my money now while I can before my benefits get reduced long term. And that's really a major reason why people collect. One of the major reasons why people collect.
So I figured that people collected early too, because, you're sort of beating the odds. We don't know how long we're going to live.
Yes.
So you're
Yes.
figuring, well, I'll take that reduction because at least I know I'm going to get my money.
Yes, and that's another reason why most folks feel, you know what, I don't know what the odds are. I'm not sure how long I'm going to live, so I'm just going to take the money now while I can. And in some cases, it does work out where folks do collect early. They end up not living a long time, and so it behooves them to have collected early. Where it kind of works against you is if you collect at 62 and all of a sudden you're 95 years of age and you're still here. That's where it works against you. So people do collect early because they want to beat the odds, essentially. I will say this though. If you have a chronic illness of some sort, right, and you're not expected to live a long time, then in that case, it makes better sense to collect early while you can, right? But that's the reason why people do collect early. And some people
that does make sense. Yeah.
And some people actually have to, right? Some people are actually forced into retirement. They don't really have any additional income sources, and so they just have to take it early. Fortunately or unfortunately, they have to. That's another reason why people will collect early.
Well, even during this pandemic for folks, older folks who lost their jobs or all sorts of things might have happened to them. I guess, this would be the time then, if you had no other source of income, you could at least rely on your social. So that's the good news.
Absolutely. It is the good news. So I think.
No, all throughout the years, Mary Beth, do you get Social Security statements in the mail?
For my aunt, because I'm a caretaker.
But for you, have you seen any for you yet?
Oh, no, not yet.
And you won't. And the reason why is because historically you would get a statement every year in the mail. But over time, Social Security has sought to reduce cost. And so what happens now is everyone receives a statement via email, essentially. So no longer are you going to receive a monthly or a yearly hard copy. It's all electronically now. Unless you're over the age of 60 or 62, I believe you'll get a full statement in the mail. So that's why you haven't seen one.
They would come in the mail and I would look at them and, they had no meaning for me because I wasn't, in the mode that's my point. You get a statement and, it would always say, if you collected now, you would get X. Mm-hmm. But if you wait till you're 70, you would get X. And I would look at that number and say, well, I'm waiting till I'm 70.
Yes.
But I get it that not obviously you can't always do that.
Mm-hmm.
But now when you're, a couple, whether you're married, let's say, and you're both collecting, so there's obviously some strategy behind this when you're a couple.
Yes. So really there's a lot of different, so I will say this, Social Security spousal benefits is probably one of the more nuanced claiming approaches. So here's how it works out. In general, you are entitled to half of your spouse's benefit, right? Either your benefit or the spouse's benefit, up to 50%, whichever is higher, right? That's generally how it works. But in order for you to collect a spousal benefit of any kind, your spouse has to be collecting benefits. That's the only time it works, is that your spouse has to collect the benefit for you to be able to collect on their record. Now, we are under what's known as deemed filing, right? Which means that anytime you apply for benefits, you are deemed to be filing for all available benefits, your benefit or your spouse's benefit. Now, there really were two exceptions, one of which is still a viable option. So the first was what was known as the file and suspend strategy. That was basically where one spouse will file for benefits, suspend them, right? And what this did was it allowed for the spouse and the minor child to collect benefits on their behalf, right? But in order to have done this, you had to have been born by January 1st of 1950, and you would have had to have implemented this file and suspend strategy by April of 2016. So that strategy is going away, right? It was actually eliminated under the Budget Reconciliation Act of 2015. But now you still have what's known as file and restrict. Now, this is a strategy where one spouse files for benefits, the other, typically the higher earning spouse files for benefits, they restrict it to the spousal application, which means they're going to get a spousal benefit up to 50%. What happens is their benefit grows until age 70, which means they get an 8% increase per year in their benefit until 70. And then once they reach age 70, they then collect their own benefit, right? And the benefit is that the higher earning spouse benefits grows while the other spouse collects. But at the end of that time frame, they typically more money is earned because of that particular strategy. Now, the other benefit of it is that the survivorship benefit grows as well. So for example, if you have a couple, let's say you have John, his benefit is $2,500 per month, Mary's benefit is $2,000 per month. What he would do is he would file and restrict. So he's going to receive $1,000 per month up until age 70. So this is $48,000 over the next 4 years. And then his benefit by age 70 grows to $3,300, right? So now he has a higher benefit of $3,300 versus $2,500. If he predeceases Mary, Mary now has a higher survivorship benefit of $3,300 as opposed to $2,500. Now, in order to do this, you need to have been born by January 1st of 1954, right? So it's still here, but you have to meet the age requirement to be able to do that. But spousal benefits are probably the more nuanced approaches here.
Now, if two people collecting Social Security get married,
yes,
what happens to your money?
What do you mean? What happens to your money?
Well, what happened? Are you still both collecting your Social Security, or is it? See, this is what I'm curious.
No. So if you're married, you collect your benefit on your own record, and your spouse collects his benefit, or her benefit rather. Then you each just collect your own benefit. Nothing changes there.
No,
Nothing.
I think, Andrew, was your question if two adults who are collecting individually then get married?
Yes.
Yeah, so you each are still entitled to your own benefit. Nothing will change if you collect and get married.
Okay.
Right? So
all right.
Yeah, nothing changes. Now, the only thing that will change potentially is the tax implications, right? So your benefit, if you're a married couple and your income is above $44,000 per year, 85% of your benefit becomes taxable. Does that make sense to you?
85% of it.
Of the benefit, yes. Not necessarily 85% tax rate, but 85% of the benefit becomes taxable if your income as a married couple exceeds $44,000. And there's a threshold for 50% benefit taxation, and that applies for both single and married couples. That's probably the only drawback. But it happens.
So is there a maximum, if your only source of income, because I'm sure for a lot of people, we run across this at SCAN, their only source of income is their Social Security, whatever it is. And so what is the maximum Social Security you can be collecting without having any kind of a tax liability?
So if you just have Social Security solely, then your benefits won't become taxable because you don't have any other income. That's what drives it. It's other income sources.
Oh,
retirement.
so if you had a pension, for example,
exactly.
Okay, interesting.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. So Social Security alone doesn't necessarily drive a taxable event. It's the other income sources coupled with Social Security that will drive whether or not your benefit becomes taxable.
Okay. See, we're all learning today, and I'm putting this into use. So, what about cost of living adjustments? Because now, let's say this is your only source of income. What happens?
So that's a big one. So the big one, at least as of right now, this year, the expectations that the cost of living adjustment is going to be the largest we've seen in really the past 4 years, a 6.1% increase. Now, again, that is the expectation. So if this happens, right now, the average benefit for Social Security is just over $1,500. So you can see the average benefit increase by over $91 per month. And if your benefit is higher than that, then you're going to have a higher increase in COLA. Now, keep in mind, we aren't sure if these numbers will hold because the reality is the COLA adjustment isn't confirmed until October, right? So in October, we'll know what the actual numbers will be, and it will take effect the following January. But if it does happen, you could see a huge boost in your income. And this applies to you, Andrea. So I know you're collecting in September.
Me. Okay.
Yep. If you collect in September, January comes around, your benefit's going to increase by 6.1%. Again, assuming that the COLA does hold, or that increase does hold. And keep in mind, every year, you're not guaranteed a COLA, or at least a COLA increase. But if the COLA, so really the way it works is that the COLA is based off of not the consumer price index for inflation. It's based off of what's known as the consumer price, or the CPIW, which is the consumer price index for urban wage earners and clerical workers. So depending upon if it increases every single year, you'll receive a benefit increase. If it's zero some years, which it has been in the past, no benefit increase. that make sense?
Okay.
So you're
Yeah.
not
All right.
parenting.
Interesting. See, Mary Beth, I knew none of this.
We're all diving a little bit deeper now, so
Yep.
this is great. Now,
So let me put this out there. So I am
Sure.
still employed. I'm the program director at SCAN. I earn my living that way.
Mhm.
And, forget retiring when you're 65. That happened, I'm still working, and I will be for the first, as long as I'm able to do that.
Mhm.
So that means I'm listening to what you're saying. So 85% of my Social Security is going to wind up being taxable income for me because I'm still collecting a salary.
That's correct. If your income is above 44, which I would assume it is, yes.
Okay, that's interesting. So what happens at the end of the year whether you're working or not, obviously when we're working, we get our W-2 form from our employer. Yes. So what do we get for Social Security?
Yeah, for Social Security, you'll get a 1099, either a 1099 or a 1042. So you receive a tax statement like everyone else does.
Okay. All right. So you're getting something. Okay. Well, okay.
Another document.
I know, another piece of paper to keep track of. All right. Well, but that's interesting to me that 85% of my Social Security will be taxable.
Yes. And again, keep in mind
that doesn't make me happy, by the way.
It doesn't. Yeah. So here's interesting fact though. So as we're already aware that benefits potentially could be reduced coming year 2035 because of the potential for the trust fund being exhausted. So really, the last time any large-scale changes were made to the Social Security system was in 1983, right? And this is where it came out that they started taxing benefits, right? That number, it's a very low number. They increased the retirement age. So for some folks, full retirement age is 66. For others born after 1955, it's going to be 66 2 months, 66 7 months. It staggers up to age 67. The problem is when you look at the income brackets for benefit taxation, they have never been adjusted for inflation. So if you think about it, $44,000 today isn't that much money. But in 1983, it was substantially more.
It's a lot of, yeah.
Right? So the problem is it's never been adjusted for inflation. That's really the problem. This is why you're seeing more people pay taxation or pay taxes on their benefits from Social Security. Now, my conjecture is, and this is not a political statement, is that Congress probably will make some changes at the bitter end, essentially, towards the very end of the system being depleted, essentially.
So now another question, just, I'm really doing my very best to absorb all of this because it is going to apply to me. So just like with your employer, you can have them take out additional taxes so that you don't have a, crazy liability at the end of the year. Can you do the same thing with Social Security when you go to collect?
Yes, absolutely. So that's what a lot of folks will do is withhold taxes from their benefits automatically. So typically most people will hold anywhere from 10 to 20% of benefits on a monthly basis.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
And just that also and this probably won't apply to you, but at some point, once you retire, your Medicare premiums will automatically be deducted from your Social Security benefits themselves.
Yeah, my understanding is as soon as you begin to collect your Social Security, your Medicare premiums can come right out of your. Yes. So that's another automatic kind of a thing.
Exactly.
So my Medicare payment will come out of it, and I'll be withholding extra money because 85% liability. That's a little.
Right.
That's not happy. But all right. Well, okay. So learning a lot today. And I'm sure that if I have these questions, a lot of you guys out there probably have the same questions. And, good news, because Don is going to be with us again towards the end of the year. We'll have to do a little follow-up on this, because by then I will be in full collection mode of Social Security. And really, I'll let you know what I find out. And just FYI, everyone out there, the Social Security website, I thought it was fantastically friendly. And I have an account there. I can look at it. I think I encourage everyone to just go on the site. I can't even tell you what it's called right now. Do you know that?
It's mysocialsecurity.gov.
Oh, there, thank you. mysocialsecurity.gov. Definitely, it's user-friendly, and forget this calling people on the phone, because honestly, you will never get a human. So you might as well take advantage of the website, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Learned a lot today, Mary Beth. Some of it I'm happy about, some of it
Some
I'm
of
not.
you.
But it's all good.
Yep.
All right. Well, Donald.Lyons from PNC Wealth Management, thank you so much for sharing all this
Thank you.
info with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having
And
me.
Andrea, too, I would just say, if anyone has any questions, put it in the comments section, and Don, I'm sure, can check it and answer anything online as well.
Yes, I'm going to
correct.
have all of Don's info in the comments, so you could definitely reach out to him, because obviously he's a man who knows, right?
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, well, if it's important to you, it's important to us. I'm Andrea Tarr. We'll see you next time on Scan FYI. Bye, everyone.
Great day. Thanks again, Don.